Greetings, everybody. Just talking to you about your next set of cookery, which is going to be Mediterranean cookery. So I chose a couple of recipes that I think could be handled at home. One is going to be a chicken style of recipe, but it's going to have preserved lemons. The recipe itself is very easy, self-explanatory. You will have to get most of the ingredients for that. I tried to put some of these ingredients in the bag that you picked up, but obviously 2 weeks later, we don't want anything going bad and you getting sick. So that being said, I'm just going to give you a quick overview on how to preserve your lemons, because you're going to need this in order to do that part of the recipe. So here we have a preserved lemon that I've already created, and I'll show you that. Basically, it's a lemon that has been sitting in its juices of salt and sugar, and then you end up with this, and then you can use it for your recipe. This particular one, I added a hot pepper to it because I wanted a little more spice. You can do that too, or you can just follow the recipe and go forward. Also, what I'm going to do, or what you have, is you have a jar with a lemon in it that was given to you when you did your pickup. If you don't have that, then you'll have to go out and get a lemon and a canning jar and do this on your own. So that being said, what you want to do is take your lemon that you have, that I gave you, and you're going to cut the top part of it off. So that would be this part here. This is the bottom where the root looks like a root, obviously, and this part here is the top. So you want to cut a piece of that top off, and then you're going to quarter the lemon like we would do with an onion, where we'd leave the back part of it still attached. So here you're doing the same thing. You're just going to quarter it, but don't quarter it to the point where it comes apart. You're just quartering it just like this, okay? Once you do that, get it into your jar, like this, and then you want to add your sugar. Break the recipe down. I broke it down. It's 1 tablespoon of sugar, and it's 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. Hopefully you have kosher salt. If not, just use regular salt, but it works better with kosher. And once you do that, just put a lid. You don't have to tighten it up, or you could put saran wrap. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have this liquefy overnight. And then once it liquefies overnight, you'll end up again with this particular type of product where you're ready to go and produce your menu, okay? Your recipe. So let's get into the other side of the recipe where you're making a vinaigrette salad with fried goat cheese. Yum. Fried goat cheese. It's really, really good. Get the goat cheese that I put into your bag, and get it in the freezer and freeze it up a little bit, okay? That way it's hard enough for you to slice and fry. You take your goat cheese, and you're just going to I'm going to take a piece of this, and you want to cut it into pieces that are good size. You'll probably end up with 3 or 4 pieces. Good size like this. And then get your dredging system going. If you remember your dredging, flour, egg, flour. Get your oil hot. I'm using grapeseed oil. The reason for the grapeseed oil is, olive oil tends to smoke, and this is new for you. So don't hesitate to do something that's a little more easier to work with. You don't want to do anything that's going to be too cold. You need to make sure that this is warm enough. So go ahead and get your flour all over this. Obviously, you'll want to use gloves. I'm just going to use my hands here because we actually ran out of gloves. I ended up running out and haven't been able to go to the store. So, but get it well egged up for you, and then you want to drop it back into the flour, and then coat it again with the flour like I'm doing here. See how I'm doing that? Get that flour done, and then you're ready to throw it into your pan. And get the pan hot enough so it starts frying right away, okay? And then you're just creating a finish on this, okay? So if you could see what I'm doing here, I've got this cooking in oil, and basically you're browning it. The reason why you don't want it too hot or too cold is because you want to brown it, but you don't want it to over melt. And that would be an issue if it over melts. So you don't want to do that. So you just want it to get, melted enough to feel really good over a salad. So I'm going to turn this really good and see the color I have already. Not enough color for me. So I'm going to let it cook a little bit further and get some nice color on it. And then once I color this, I'm going to plate this. And once I do the plating, you're ready to go. So what I have is I have a simile of what your actual vinaigrette salad would look like. You can put it on the bottom, you can finish it on the top. I'm just doing it straight right on the bottom here, okay? So I'm going to turn this, give it some color, like that. Get it cooked on the other side. Once this is done, I'm going to place it on my plate. I usually like to do 2 or 3 of these on a plate and service. Usually it could be a salad or an appetizer. Obviously, if you do a plate that shows more white space or open space or whatever you want to call it, the more money you can make with this. So the idea is trying to create a nice flavorful meal that you can create an income off of and actually move into your next flow of the dinner, which is going to be your chicken that you're going to be making. So take the time to do this right. I'm just going to take this off now, and then you're going to drop it right onto, like I have right there, if you can see it. And then what I did is I squared off a carrot. Why am I doing that? You should know this. So we can julienne it. So I'm going to julienne this really small. I'll get a couple of julienne, pick my favorite size here. And that's how I'm going to finish this. Maybe I'll finish it with a little bit more of the salad. Maybe I won't. But I'm just going to finish it like this. And there you go. We have our finished meal. Remember, plating, plating, plating. I'm trying to keep this meal as simple as possible. I'm trying to find a spot where you can see this. So you can see that, right? And you could do 2 or 3, use a larger plate. But remember, this is all about plating and understanding how to read a recipe so you can write your recipes at the end of this semester. So any questions, feel free to contact me. You will have a discussion question going on as far as the lecture is concerned in Caribbean or West Indies cooking, or excuse me, this is Mediterranean cooking. And then you also will have discussion on how your meal turned out, how you felt about it, if you liked the flavors, or any kind of questions you had for each other as far as trying to cook it and getting that right plating. Good luck. Feel free to contact me anytime. You know how to get a hold of me. Ciao.